Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. It's Sunday morning and I'm trying to make a little video before I go down my granddaughter's. I'll be going down later on for get my Sunday dinner at my granddaughter's and spend some time with the kids, and I'm more like I should say be tormented by the kids. Especially little Eddie, he's a proper little torment, but Tommy likes a little bit help with his Lego when I'm there. Only they've got two boxes. Well, it's like a plastic Lego type box, you know. It's got like a big Lego thing on the top, and they've got all the bricks in them. Well, at one time Eddie used to play with them as well, especially when he was eating things, and he used to drop ice lollies and all sorts in these boxes. And when I've got my hands in trying to find the bricks for whatever me and Tommy's building, and they're all stuck up to the eyeballs. I think Sharon wants to just fill them up with hot soapy water and just leave it until the soap will get all the muck off, and then empty the water out and let the bricks dry out. Because they're in a bit of a state. But anyway, I'm doing a little bit of my knitting. I've got the back and one of the sleeves, and I'm doing the second sleeve. This is for my Etsy shop. Never know, I might have some luck and sell something from it one day. I got one, two, knit one, two, one knit. Now I'm increasing up the sides here, so I've got to keep checking for where I'm adding the extra stitches. That's right. Somebody, lady called Brenda, I think, had a comment on, I haven't answered a lot of comments. There's so many comments and it takes me quite a bit of time to answer them, but she was asking, how did I knit and have a conversation? Well, it's either something you can do or something you can't do. You talk, I can talk and knit. I can watch a television and knit, and without looking at my knitting, I can do it like that. It probably stems from the very first time I was 11 years old when my parents got our first television. And you know, in them days, televisions were all new and that, well, to us they were anyway. And I was also into knitting at the time, you know, knitting things for your dolls' clothes and things like that. But you also wanted to watch the television because it was new. And I've just knit 3 stitches there instead of 2. I'll take one out, that's it. And so I learned to knit while I was watching the television. And it just stuck with me. If it's a simple enough pattern, like what I'm doing now, is one row is knit 2, purl 2, and another row is just all plain. And I'm just saying to myself as I'm knitting, now I'm going knit 2. As I'm talking, I know it's 2. Now it's purl 2, and I'm still talking. So that's how easy it is for me to knit and have a conversation. It comes very easily when you've done it for a lot of years. And over the years, you know, as you get married and have your kids and that, and you want to try sitting knitting and have kids talking your ear off. That takes a lot of concentrating. And then there was another lady called, I've wrote this down, who were the people who were asking the questions. There's another lady called June asking how I managed to do my bands without them rolling in. on the cardigans, the buttonhole and the button bands and that. I'm afraid that's something to do with how you knit and how you sew the bands on. If it's just a plain knitted thing in stocking stitch, the bands would probably roll in anyway. Mine do, actually. But a lot of it depends on how you sew the bands onto the cardigan afterwards. Whether you sew them, if you sew them too tight and pull the band too tight to fit the cardigan, it'll probably roll in. You have to keep the band as slack as possible without it hanging down below the back of the cardigan. So it's something to do with how you sew the bands on, how you knit the bands, how you sew the bands onto the cardigan. But it's also to do with the type of knitting. A lot of the cardigans and things I've made have been patterns where, like what I'm doing here, this doesn't roll in very much because it's a knit and purl thing. So if I sew a band to this, knit a band and sew it on, it'll probably not roll in. And some patterns are, they just don't roll, the patterns just don't roll. So they're completely flat when you stitch the bands on. So that's another reason my bands don't curl in. But a lot of it is to do with how you stitch the bands on, whether you pull them too tight when you're fitting them to the front of the cardigan. That's probably most reasons. If you pull them too tight, they'll probably roll in. So you have to get the bands right, the right length for the cardigan. So that's one question answered. And then we're just talking about, I've had one or two comments from Heather and some other ones, I can't remember everybody, about Halloween. I'll have to answer some of these questions, but I get so many questions, and having two channels, I have to answer questions on both channels, and that it's a good job I'm not writing by hand because I'd have writer's cramp. But we're talking about Halloween and bonfire, and you know, Halloween in my day, like I've told you all before, was just a turnip with a candle in, that we used to scoop the inside of the turnip out and make a little face on it, and one or two little triangles for the eyes and teeth thing, and a candle in. And we were quite happy with that. We didn't do trick or treat or anything like that, and I never did with my kids either. And this is all the trick or treat started later on, but people now are even starting to decorate their houses and their gardens and things with Halloween. To me, it's ridiculous. But it's life, it's the way things are nowadays. Things change. If you don't change with the times, you're going to be left behind. But I'm not bothered anyway. But like seeing the girl next door to me had a guy stuck on a gate thing, and the kids were coming up and were kicking it and hitting it, and mind, it disappeared this morning. I think she took it in out of the way, because it probably would have disappeared. But when we were kids, and then when we had bonfire night, and we're talking about putting potatoes in the fire, I think today, if anybody did that, you know, we used to put the potatoes in and roast them, and it used to take us quite a while to find them afterwards, like, because the fire had died down on top of them and that. But when we found them, they were black like charcoal, but we thought they were lovely. We still ate them. We cooked them ourselves, so we ate them. You probably did as well, Heather. If most people are around about my age, well, as you probably all know, I'm 75 years old. So you would have the same experiences I had as a child. Your bonfire and Halloween and things like that. And we did a lot of things like bonfire night. They're not allowed to build bonfires these days. I think they have to go to the all the displays for the fireworks, and I know they're not allowed a bonfire on the green where I live anymore. So the kids these days can't experience the same kind of thing, the same kind of fun we had when we were kids with the bonfires and that, and roasting our own potatoes in the. It's a wonder we're still alive, some of the things we used to eat in those days, but that's just a little bit anyway. I'll be going down my granddaughter soon, taking my knitting with me. And hopefully I'll get this one finished and get it onto my shop, and that's what I'm trying to get enough stuff built up on my stock on my shop so people might notice. You know, everybody says, oh, what lovely things, lovely things that you're knitting, all that, but nobody's offered to buy anything off my shop yet. And if they're waiting for me to bring the price down, they'll be waiting a long time, because I have nothing else but time. It does cost us, for a listing on Etsy, we'll have to pay 18 pence for each thing that goes up. And as I haven't sold anything yet, I don't know how much they are going to take out of it. I think it's about 5% when you actually sell something. It could be more than that, I'm not absolutely certain. But I'm trying to get enough stuff on, so there's enough for people to look through at it. But I'm afraid if they're waiting for me to bring the price down, they're going to be waiting a long time. Like I said, hell will freeze over before I bring the price down on these. If I don't sell them, I think we'll get so many months for this 18 pence. I'll just add it again. That's me. There's an awful lot of things on Etsy, and I cannot believe some of the prices that I see for some of the things that people put up. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, that's my little bit for today. I'll be way off down my granddaughter soon, and then I'll catch up with you all another time. So thumbs up and subscribe. You might like anything else I happen to put up. So bye for now.